we can go into Off-Road Adventure. So Off-Road Adventure by KingCreations. This is the next adventure in the first model by this designer, Camping Adventure. This shows a 4x4 vehicle going off-road into nature, and they're off at their camping site. And so a couple of the cool features of this model is not only does this model work with the original Camping Adventure, it also includes some of the same minifigures, however they're wearing different clothes this time. But you'll see the father makes a return, and then there is also the daughter that makes a return from the first set as well, included in the mountain bike. And then we have a couple different things that are pretty cool to highlight here. There is the stream here where they are fishing, and it incorporates a bunch of transparent and white bricks, the white bricks simulating the rushing rapid waters. But if you look real closely through the transparent, you can see that there is a fish swimming inside the river. And so it's kind of detailed in here as orange. So you can just barely see it through the water. And then of course we have another fish jumping up the rapids. There is the tent, a really cool build for how that was accomplished. That's where they're going to sleep at night. We have a very iconic red cooler in the back. And then as well as all kinds of different trees and different techniques for building trees included in this model. So that was also a really nice feature of that, is just the different types of trees and how you can accomplish that. And then if we go into the backside here too, you can see inside this cave, there's all kinds of different critters and whatnot living inside there. There's different types of mushrooms and snails and also a couple different glow-in-the-dark pieces included in there. So it just adds an extra little bit of detail to this model. So as you can see, it is quite small in size, but it is mighty in the amount of detail that is packed in here. So one really cool thing about this model is the vehicle here. Now, when we're operating in Lego scale, things can get a little tricky just based on the proportions of the minifigures. But what's really interesting about this model is that this vehicle is 5 wide, if you notice it. So historically, vehicles are 4 wide, 6 wide, or 8 wide. But for this vehicle, they went the challenging route and decided to design it as a 5 wide vehicle. So what's really cool about that is it starts as the base being 3 wide, and then it opens up to be a 3 wide cabin or interior, and then a 5 wide exterior. It could technically be considered 6 wide because the mudguards do stick out on the sides. But what that does is allow for a little bit different geometry for the designer to work with, so that the roof or the cabin of the vehicle actually comes inward back to 4 wide, and it allows for a little bit extra detail on the side of the vehicle. But as this comes off, you can see all kinds of different things that are included within the inside. So it's quite a good model. Yep. And then you can see with any off-road adventure, you have all of the different equipment that you need. Not only do you have your tow rings in the back, you have a winch on the front, there's an extra fuel canister on top, a toolbox, you've got your axe, spare tire for your mountain bikes, and then there's an extra mountain bike on the back of the vehicle as well. If you remember back to Camping Adventure, there was a tow hook on the caravan, and that does line up and fit with the hitch on the back of the 4x4 here too. So another way that those models incorporate together.